All right, here we go. Cyrus Corman-Gill with a paradoxical storm deck against Andy Markiton on aggro shops. He calls it blitz shops. Looks like it's Andy who won the die roll.
Yeah, and he has a pretty stacked hand, as you can see, whereas Cyrus kept his hand on the back of the Force of Will.
Yeah, Force of Will, targeting Sphere, and
here comes another one.
Andy slow rolled his Mox Jet, willing to pay extra if the first Sphere resolved.
Yeah, that's
sort
just
of
perfect
sandbag
spot.
the fact that the second Sphere was coming.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much he's actually gaining from it, but it's definitely a dagger for Cyrus.
Yeah, it's all. I mean, I don't think he gave that much either. I'm like, why is he not playing the Mox? And I'm like, he's already worked out that the way the mana works out, he has no reason to give his opponent that information.
Yep, it was a good move.
All right, Hurkyl's Recall is the key card in Cyrus Corman-Gill's hand. The reason, you were talking in the pregame show about how this favors the Storm deck in your mind, and I think I agree with you. It's funny, like when the Paradoxical Outcome was first a deck, Shops was kind of the enemy, but the Paradoxical Outcome decks have just twisted and twisted and twisted until they could handle this matchup. And now it's become one of the good matchups in the format. Yeah, and Ancestral Recall is going to help him a ton.
Yeah.
Andy does not have much of a clock, so this is kind of the perfect Hurkyl's Recall deck if you're a PO player. You have a while to build up some lands, and then eventually you just Hurkyl's Recall them during their end step. They pick up all the hate cards, then you untap, go off, and win. Or at least that's the plan.
So Cyrus decided to not run the Ancestral Recall on Andy's last end step.
Well, there's two spheres now. He would have had to respond to the
okay,
the second sphere.
Sure, that's why.
Yeah, he didn't want to crack his fetch land into a wasteland, I think was his logic. But he's here. He's like, fine, second island, you're going to get my underground, but I'm going to get off my ancestral.
So let's see if, a new sphere.
Third sphere, yeah. I mean, at this point, Andy's plan is to try to make Hurkyl's Recall uncastable.
Yep.
Which is tough, but possible.
Oh, yeah. Because with this play, Cyrus needs actual lands. He can't get Moxen onto the table at this point without any more lands.
Yeah, and you see that Andy's got a wasteland in play. He's got another wasteland in his hand. Cyrus's basic land count is not super high. He does have more than most. I was looking at his list, and he's actually got multiple islands in the sideboard for exactly this reason.
Yeah, so that's a good way to shore up the matchup.
Right, 2 islands in the main deck, 2 basic islands in the sideboard as well, along with the other 2 copies of Hurkyl's Recall. But at this point, yeah, he can't even cast a Mox because they cost 3.
Speaking of Mox, now we see Andy with a Foundry Inspector in hand because he sacrificed the Mox Jet to his Ravager last turn.
It's true. Yeah, if he hadn't eaten his jet, he'd be fine. I think that was the right play, though. He needs a clock, right? He's not going to make Hurkyl's uncastable forever. He's just got to make Hurkyl's uncastable long enough to kill him with whatever he finds.
Yeah, so he just made sure that he could still cast all of his 2-drops, but the Foundry Inspector would be uncastable, which is... I respect that line. I've played some shops and also done quite well with it, but sacrificing prematurely to Ravager is definitely not something I'm great at this point.
I think Andy's got this at this point. There's no way for Cyrus to get off a...
Yeah, so he can sacrifice the Vault at least.
Yeah.
And have lethal next turn. Yeah.
Yeah, Cyrus...
Didn't find the third land.
Well, he found the third land and got Wasteland.
You're right. Post the Wasteland, he never got above 2 lands. So, yeah, as I said, the die roll plus a good hand will win the game from the shop side, despite a bad match.
Yeah, it's funny. I think Cyrus was favored on turn 2 or 3 there.
Sure.
He had Ancestral found no lands.
Draws. Yep.
Although, I mean, to be fair, Cyrus's deck only plays, I think it's 12?
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a little on the light side versus the way a lot of people build PO. We're calling it Paradoxical Storm.
Yeah.
You see a lot of PO lists that are a little less combo centric, right? Yep. He's got a Time Twister. He's got a Mind's Desire. He's got the Tendrils of Agony in the list, which isn't even something that all PO decks have. So it is definitely a combo focused version of the Storm deck. Probably makes it slightly worse in this matchup than some of the more resilient versions of But then again, he doesn't have a vault key, so he's a little less fragile from a Stony Silence Null Rod point of view than your average
when he's winning, he's winning big, but he's not able to beat some spheres by cheesing the Voltaic key time bolt combo onto the table like
right.
The version I like the most. So he actually has to either race out the luck components or bounce them all with Hercules Recall. There's no in between.
Yeah, it's funny. So, I mean, I've played my fair share of Paradoxical Outcome in the past as well, and I always felt like my best plan against shops was Tinker Blightsteel. Like the reason you play Tinker Blightsteel in a Paradoxical Outcome deck is specifically this matchup. You certainly don't want it because of all the Dak Faden decks that are running around. You're like, get out of my deck. But against the shop's opponent, it's kind of plan A if you can pull it off. Plan B is this Hercules Recall plan. Yeah. And Cyrus does not have access to Tinker Blightsteel or Vault Key. He's, like we said, he's combo. So do you think Cyrus's build is favored in this matchup?
Yeah.
Even without Tinker Blightsteel, even without Vault Key.
It still is. Like the fact that you can get all the acceleration onto the table and play the long game with basic lands and Hercules Recall while being even more consistent in winning on turns 1 and 2 combined, that definitely makes for still a favorable matchup.
Right.
But we're not talking like 70-30 or something like that. But it's like 55 or 60.
I don't know. Maybe it's just wow. Yeah, y'all on the first turn.
Double Ancestral on turn 1.
It's kind of merely a value Ancestral, but pretty good. He gets essentially, the Yogg-Will gave him the Ancestral, is what it gave him.
So fortunately for Cyrus, no Powder Keg or Ratchet Bomb from Andy's side.
Those would be kind of insane here.
Oh, yeah.
There's a Sphere and a Ravager. That's not going to stop Cyrus from playing his Mentor.
So I guess I spoke too soon about Cyrus's deck not being able to win a game without getting rid of the Sphere. In a situation like this, Monastery Mentor will get the job done unless Andy finds more gas.
Yeah, Monastery Mentor is just... None of the rest of the strategic stuff and the matchup stuff applies. You're like, you've got this one card that just fundamentally changes the way your deck works. It's just how Mentor works.
So he needs Walking Ballista Andy in the foreseeable future to keep up.
I mean, Cyrus is out of gas, so Andy might have a couple. Wow, right on schedule. Walking Ballista off the top for Mr. Markiton.
So if he plays out the Ancient Tomb, he can cast a Ballista for 3, which is perfect. He gets to kill the Mentor and keep the Ballista around.
Yeah, I think he's tempted by wasting a Tundra and casting it for 2.
I don't like that. It's way more important to keep that around.
I agree with you. I think he's now edged the mouse over to the Ancient Tomb. Ancient Tomb is the selection. Sphere means Ballista costs 1 extra. So presumably this is 3/3 Ballista, shoot your Mentor, say go?
Yep, I like that. Because once it resolves, the Ballista, the coast is clear. You don't want him to untap into instant shenanigans. But Cyrus has a lot of powerful top decks with the mana he has available. So this game is not over. The Walking Ballista just made it that we still have a game. Wow.
Huh.
So he's prepared to do some...
I mean, he does have the Ravager. So if he's willing to sack his Ravager, he can clean up everything. He's going to leave him the Mentor. Wow.
Yeah. I think he's just...
He's just going to get an attack in first?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then make a move like this to get in for some damage, and then be kind of all in on the Ballista.
Sure.
My gut feeling was just to leave the monks out there and get rid of the Mentor.
I mean, at some level, you can kill the monks. You can kill 1 monk a turn by spending 4 to pump up Ballista.
Yeah, but that plan is sort of out the window now that he got rid of 2 Moxen.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, at the beginning of the turn, those were the 2 forks, right? Sack your Ravager to clean up everything. This board state looks pretty good for him. I mean, he's got a Sphere. He-O probably still beats him. There's enough mana that you can Paradoxical Outcome through the Sphere. Wow, can he Merchant Scroll for PO? That's a lot of mana, but he might have it. 5,
He
6,
can
7,
do that
8.
and then play all of his, at the very least, replay all of his stuff and pass the turn. That's not too scary.
Yeah, sounds right. I think that's the plan. He gets to draw 5, and yeah, he should be able to replay everything.
Yep. And you're not under the most huge amount of pressure. So yeah, I like that from Cyrus's perspective.
Yeah, pays 3 for the Merchant Scroll. He's going to pay 5 for this Paradoxical Outcome.
Oh yeah. Does he get to float any mana from this PO? I didn't really.
1. Comes up with the Twister. I don't even know if he wants to twist here. I don't know what else he has, but
I like getting all the acceleration back on the table and then
agreed.
Twisting next turn. Well, let's see. He did draw a Lotus, and he has Mana Vault, Mana Crypt, so a lot of plus mana even through the Sphere. So it might be worth it to run it now.
Yeah,
Passing the turn, yeah.
He's capable of casting it, but that's the tricky bit. He's capable of casting it, but then he's going to be mostly out of mana, and I don't know that you want to pass the turn with Shops Player with 7 new cards. Let the Shops Player take a turn with the 2 that he's chosen not to play in the first couple turns of the game, right?
Yep. And Cyrus can also narrow down Andy's hand somewhat based on what he chose to play thus far. The Ballista was a given, but the Ravager wasn't the possible play at the time, so he probably doesn't have a Sphere in his hand at this point.
Fair.
So let's see if he chooses to.
Do you want to play?
Activate a library next turn or get as much acceleration onto the table as possible?
Yeah, I think he played a Black Lotus.
He figured he had enough value from the library.
He's going to Twister next turn and then hope to win from there.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Cyrus, I was about to say, he's also got the in case of emergency, break glass, pitch time, Twister 2, Force of Will.
Yeah, but
this powder keg blows up everything.
Yeah, even the Ballista though. So let's
are
see.
You take that trade if you're Andy?
Sure.
You get 3 Moxes, a Crypt, and a Lotus?
Yeah, so I guess he's forcing the issue here, but he gets to get rid of the only business card in Cyrus's hand.
Oh yeah, this is great for Andy. And Cyrus actually is going to have to sort of either spend Vault mana or Black Lotus mana to pay the 1 that Sphere of Resistance is attacking on the Force of Will.
It'll probably end up in a tap mana vault.
Yeah, that was the one place where the one cost of playing Black Lotus, wow, he let him have it. Huh.
Yeah, I mean, I like that from Cyrus's perspective. He figures he can win the game. Twister plus library. Then he'll get into some sort of Hercules Recall mode again.
Really? That's a lot of mana Cyrus just lost.
Yep, sure is.
He's going to untap with 8. 7. He's going to untap with 7. Twister costs 4 of it.
So the Opal is free at this point.
Yeah.
Doesn't net him any mana, but he wants it on the table.
A little surprised he tapped the island for it. But...
Yeah, I wonder. He's okay. So he's still afraid of giving Andy a new hand. Pretty awesome. So now his library gets wasted. And the Foundry Inspector is forcing Cyrus to make a move at some point.
Yeah. Cyrus has to twist now, I think. Andy's not actually worried about library, given 4 cards in Cyrus's hand. He'd rather get whatever duel is likely to come out of the fetch land.
Yeah. I think he wants to
upkeep?
Negate a mana before Cyrus's main phase. That's my
Cyrus got basic
gut feeling here. He didn't want to do that. He doesn't care about the colorless mana.
Yeah, he was waiting for a dual land. All right.
Cyrus runs out the Time Twister before making a land drop because of Tolarian Academy. It's a pretty common play in PO. Yeah, those 7 cards are definitely scary. So that's what I was talking about. If he twisters, he can go into Hercule's Recall mode, meaning that he doesn't have to win this turn. He can just pass and then end step Hercule's Recall and then have a free passage to victory next turn. So he doesn't have to win right now.
This is probably what? Tap library for a card, play a land.
This is where Ratchet Bomb gets kind of interesting again, if you notice it in NDC. That's the danger of running this pass the turn, wait with Hercule's Recall. In that case, I guess he has to Hercules himself, but maybe that's not the worst.
He's not obliged to play the Moxen. He can sit with a hand of 7 if his plan is Hercule's Recall.
Yeah,
the
you're right.
Opal and the Mana Vault will take care of that.
He also has a land drop in the bank.
Right. I think my play is draw a card with library, play a land. Oh, he's going to try to win now.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to Hercules away the Sphere now, and then he can go Mox for free, land PO.
Yep, it makes perfect sense. He has the ability to draw 5, and that will usually get the job done, so I like that as well.
He doesn't really have the black mana to go get the tendrils. And now I guess he had to play a basic island.
Usually in the quad Mox Opal builds, the black mana will come eventually once you start going off.
We'll see. I mean, he lost 4 cards before, so a couple repeals, a mentor.
He did get to reshuffle the Black Lotus, which so he just needs 1 black, so he can. Let's see what he does this turn.
That hand doesn't do much. This is like mentor. I think this is just a mentor. Well, he's gonna DT. What is he getting? Is there a card that wins this?
What about Time Walk? How is he on blue mana? He can't.
Out?
Okay.
He has 0. He has no blue mana, no black mana. He made his land drop.
Yeah, so
he'll just the repeal.
Wow. I was about to say he needs to free cantrip off the repeals.
Mission accomplished.
No, yeah.
Repeal for paradoxical outcome. Now he gets to draw 5 more. Colored mana is still a little tight.
Yeah. So he needs to draw either Black Lotus or Tendrils in order to win the game on this. Black Lotus or Tendrils to win the game on the spot, because then he can DT for Black Lotus.
He whiffed on both of those, so now we're in Monastery Mentor world. Which is probably good enough, although Ratchet Bomb's going to have a thing or two to say about it.
Let's see if Andy ever gets the turn back. I guess he needs 1 more colored source of mana.
Yeah, no, I think Cyrus is just playing out his artifacts and saying go.
But he should run out the.
Oh, Hercules is a million triggers.
Yeah, sure. But he's still the 2nd colored mana for Demonic Tutor Time Walk that
I agree. Right, Demonic Tutor for Time Walk would get the job done, but he doesn't have it.
I guess. I guess he can just end this turn by merchant scrolling for a Force of Will to make sure that Andy needs double Ratchet Bomb to stay in the game.
Oh, there's Tolarian Academy, but he already used his land drop.
He already played out the island, yeah.
I like Merchant Scroll for Force of Will. That's a good line.
Then he needs 2 Ratchet Bombs to not lose the game, Andy, so. And even if he manages to have 2 Ratchet Bombs, he's probably somewhat out of mana, and the Demonic Tutor can find the gas that Cyrus needs to win next turn.
True.
So that's your plan B. Yeah.
I don't think Cyrus is losing this game. It's just, how's he winning it, right?
Yeah. Super interesting game. I really like the play where he neglects to Force of Will the Ratchet Bomb, kind of suck it up and rebuild from there rather than pitching his own, the only piece of business. Because of that ratchet bomb or powder keg or whatever it was, and then try to top deck my way out of it.
All right, Merchant Scroll for Force of Will. Cyrus is sitting on a Force. He's also got Hercules. He's got the ability next turn to Demonic Tutor for whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't actually need to do anything except survive this turn with all his monks in play.
Oh, yeah.
And he does have a Ratchet Bomb in his hand. If he could somehow resolve the Ratchet Bomb, he would, I mean, I don't think he wins, but he would not die to the Mentor.
Yeah. Great play by Cyrus. Scrolling up the Force of Will to make sure that Andy needs 2 Ratchet Bomb effects to just stay alive.
Yeah,
and once he has spent all his resources staying alive, Cyrus even has the win next turn from the Demonic.
And Andy knows about the Force of Will because it's Merchant Scroll. You have to show your opponent what the card is. But he doesn't really have a way to bait it, so he's going to pretend the Ratchet Bomb is the bait. See if maybe somehow Cyrus will let Ratchet Bomb resolve because he's worried about the next thing.
Yeah, that wouldn't be the first time he would let Ratchet Bomb resolve, but this time it actually means that he gets to win the game next turn. So
yeah, so Cyrus doesn't fall for it. He's like, no, I'm defending my monks.
Yep.
And
looks like we have the concession incoming.
That looked like right click, reach for the concede button.
So we get to have a game 3 with shops on the play. That's always super scary spot to be in if you're the blue player.
Indeed. On to game 3.
So yeah, now I just got a look at the sideboard. He brought out Steel Overseer, which it's pretty funny that the deck plays Steel Overseer. That card is basically only in the deck because the other shops deck play that card, and that's what decides the mirror match. But it's pretty bad against basically any other deck, so that's kind of funny.
That points out that when Cyrus finally drew that tap Library of Alexandria to draw a card, that was Mox Jet on top. The game would have been, if he just draw the library card main phase, could have ended the game 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right.
Andy mulligans a hand that doesn't do any. Wow, so both players are.
Jeez.
Both players down to 6. Actually, Andy's down to 5.
Andy went to 5. His 6-card hand was Foundry Inspector the End.
Yeah, and you need a piece of disruption, but I don't think you can go further down than 5 reasonably.
Sure.
So he wants to slow roll this Ratchet Bomb or play around a fast paradoxical outcome from the opponent. He decides to get it onto the table right away. So, but now you see Cyrus can plan around that Ratchet Bomb, and it's not as powerful. But I guess, yeah.
I mean, Andy successfully prevents Cyrus from just dumping out a bunch of Moxes and making a value play of some kind.
I'm curious to see what Andy kept on top, if he kept anything. I guess that was a.
So it's not look like. Yeah, that looks like
random card. Yep.
Agreed. Paradoxical outcome, but nothing to pick up with it for Cyrus. Just that lone Mox Opal. So he's on the Hercules recall plan. It's a pretty good plan. Cyrus just planning to sit here for a little while and see what happens.
And he's showing off by tapping his Soul Ring. Didn't actually have to at that point. So he'll get in for 3. And Cyrus is not under a lot of pressure.
Second Hercules.
Now Andy's getting in for 5.
Well, he might be hesitant to play a land pre-combat because this Hercules is now pretty painful.
Yeah, I think the logic as a shops player is that if they run out the Hercules recall early to prevent some Mishra's damage, then you're okay. But seeing how Cyrus's hand is constructed, I think that will happen this turn.
Agreed.
So normally it's not a concern, but when he has double Hercules recall, it sure is a powerful play.
Now, do you hit for 6 here? Do you activate the third Mishra? Or do you content yourself with 5?
He decides that 5 is fine.
Well, he's thinking about it. He's still in his main phase.
Right.
I think you hit for 5 here.
Yeah.
That's what Andy's going to do.
Seems
The
like a
Hercules, the Mishras, in addition to turning into creatures, of course, they turn into artifact creatures specifically. So
Yep.
you get hit by the Hercules, which is what's going to happen here. No damage, and it's going to take you a couple land drops to get back where you were, says Cyrus to Andy.
Yeah, if he just plays out Revoker plus a Factory, he's back to being able to swing for the same amount of damage next turn. So it's not so bad.
What a weird game.
Oh, yeah.
It's turn 5. The Shops player has done basically nothing except put out a Ratchet Bomb that Cyrus could play around. And it might be good enough?
It's pretty absurd. Yeah, the thing is with the PO side against Shops, it's not the business spells that you're running low on. It's the mana that's important, and it's the disruption, because Shops, they're not gonna disrupt your paradoxical outcomes and your tutors and whatever. So that's not the resource you're low on. Meaning that in this case, even more business spells, like, I don't know if you kept in Mind's Desire, but stuff like that are not very good draws.
There's a Preordain. That gets cast in a split second.
Oh, yeah.
Ancestral Recall. Just what Cyrus was looking for. Second Opal as the only artifact, however. So again, those paradoxical outcomes are not actually good yet.
I guess he'll just try and cycle a repeal.
Yeah.
No, okay, he waits.
Well, he's going to leave up Hercules in case of emergency.
Right. He needs to play around Ravager. It makes sense.
This is an attack for 7.
Yeah.
Probably just take this.
I think he has to. I don't think he can afford to. Well, it's pretty close.
It's close. I think you take it. Cycle your repeal. Maybe trick your opponent into ratchet bombing the Opal.
Yeah, the thing is, at this point, Andy knows that Cyrus. Well, I guess he doesn't know for sure that he doesn't have any business, because the ratchet bomb could complicate
Right.
things. So
Right.
actually,
Cyrus could have a handful of zeros for all
Yeah.
Andy knows.
Yeah. I don't have much experience with Ratchet Bomb from either side, but I just figured he could put Cyrus on a big Mox hand.
He could. Totally could. Cyrus, I think, debating the Hercules. He's kind of telegraphed it by pausing there, but
Yeah.
what are you going to do? Decides to take the damage. Wow. Goes for the end step Hercules.
So do you crack your Ratchet Bomb here?
It's a good question. It's not insane, right?
But then again, if the Opal was important to...
He wouldn't have played it. Yeah, I think no.
But what? Actually, he had 8 cards. Cyrus had 8 cards in his hand, so that could be a reason to play it out. It's not necessarily because it's irrelevant to his game plan. It could just be instead of going to cleanup. He would have passed the turn with 8
the
cards.
Opal's the best one, though. Well, he cracks it.
The Opal is the best one as long as you don't have a redundant copy. And he sure has some redundant copies.
All right, here's the repeal.
Snapcaster Ancestral. Snapcaster Ancestral is a acceptable play.
It also blocks, buys him a turn potentially.
Yep. So he needs some. Oh yeah.
How about a Mana Crypt and a Lotus Petal?
He needs. I was about to say he needs some critical mass of artifact range.
Note that he gets to pick up the Snapcaster mage is not limited to. Is he going to Hercules himself so he doesn't have to crack his pedal?
Yeah.
And he's going to Hercules himself, which turns a 1 mana profit.
Yeah,
which means
Hercules Ritual.
Look, this is a man who knows his way around Storm. It's
Oh yeah.
There's a way to generate Storm count and mana. Cyrus is on top of it.
For sure.
Finds the Sapphire, finds the Walk, finds another copy of Paradoxical Outcome. Don't forget the Snapcaster's in his hand now as well.
Yep.
Wow.
So I don't mind casting the Time Walk to get to free all of his mana. But I forgot about the Crypt, so it was of course he can just keep going here.
Yeah. Draw 4. There's more jewelry. Wow, this is all off Repeal Mox Opal, right?
Yep.
Cyrus drew the 3rd copy of Mox Opal with his draw step, repealed it, and then that's what got him off to the races here.
And then he had a very good Snapcaster Ancestral.
Snapcaster was the next card down. Flashback the Ancestral and off to the races. I think Cyrus should win from here. It would be surprising if he doesn't.
Yeah.
Draws another bunch of cards. It'd be very surprising if he doesn't. He's got
There's the Mentor with infinite Force of Will backup, so it looks like he wants to end the game with the Stormway.
Is he? I mean, if he has access to the tendrils, then sure. Otherwise, Mentor or Time Walk must not have.
Right.
He's going to PO first. But like Mentor, the game's over in his hand. Mentor into Time Walk will end it.
Yeah, he's just checking if he can find the tendrils to show off the Storm and the deck title.
You've already got it in your hand, Cyrus. You don't have to win with tendrils. 14 cards left in his library at this point.
Yeah.
Dig Through Time could look at half of them.
Powerful deck.
Wow. 1 repeal. And Cyrus Corman-Gill just went off to the races.
With the way this game played out, this could have been the end on turn 3, or what do I know? But the way he just kept drawing redundant cards that didn't really do anything, and I'm glad the game dragged on a bit, but it felt like this was bound to happen.
Both players had bad draws.
Oh yeah.
All right. Cyrus now has to make sure he doesn't accidentally deck himself.
Don't bounce 15 artifacts.
How about 9? 5 cards left in his library. Did you find your tendrils yet? Found Demonic Tutor. That should be good enough. I assume the tendrils is in his library. It's in one of the last 5, but
he has a decent storm count built up here.
47? Yeah, 47's decent. That's one word for it.
That's game.
Cyrus,
but yeah, factory beats are not gonna get it done against
not usually.
PO.
All right, so Cyrus moves to 3-1. It just needs to win one of his last 2 to advance to the playoffs. And Markiton on the other side falls to 2-2.
He's looking to pressure.
Be, 2/3 of the way through last week. He was 2-0 and had a huge matchup advantage in his 3rd match. But all of a sudden, he's 2-2 and has to win the next couple if he's going to come back for the playoffs.
Yeah, just exciting. Every match just counts so much in this group. It's pretty awesome.
Totally fair. Well, we got 5 more of them. When we come back, it will be Andreas' turn, and we'll get to see Seth Manfield along with the Oath of Druids deck that he brewed up himself. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
CoolStuffInc.com is your home for everything Magic the Gathering. Need singles for constructed or kitchen table play? Looking to pick up some sealed product or the latest in Magic accessories? We've got you covered with our extensive live inventory. With free shipping on orders of $100 or more, a 25% buy list bonus, and our ever-popular customer rewards program, CoolStuffInc.com is the place for all your Magic the Gathering needs.